Welcome to the Westward Expansion of America. Hello, my friends. Today we begin a fascinating journey through the history of westward expansion of America. Have you ever wondered what it felt like to stand on the edge of a young nation, looking west toward an endless horizon? No roads, no towns, just forests, mountains, and wide open plains. For early Americans, that horizon symbolized hope, opportunity, and destiny. This is the story of the westward expansion of the United States, a journey that would shape not only a nation's borders, but also its very identity. In the 19th century, Americans embraced a powerful idea called manifest destiny. It was more than just a belief, it was a conviction that the United States was destined, perhaps even chosen, to stretch from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the Pacific. To many, this felt like progress, freedom, and purpose. But to others, especially Native Americans, it meant loss, suffering, and displacement. This tension would define the century. The first great leap westward came after the American Revolution. With new lands stretching to the Mississippi River, America was no longer just a cluster of colonies, but the true turning point arrived in 1803, when President Thomas Jefferson completed the Louisiana Purchase. For $15 million, the nation doubled in size. Just imagine it. Millions of acres of forests, rivers, and prairies suddenly becoming part of the United States. To settlers, it was a land of promise. To native tribes, it was a warning of struggles to come. Families soon began to answer the call of the frontier. They packed wagons, gathered supplies, and set out on long trails, like the Oregon Trail. It wasn't easy. The journey was brutal. Disease, hunger, floods, and storms tested their spirit at every step. Many didn't survive, and yet for those who pressed on, the reward was land, freedom, and the hope of a better life. But nothing pulled Americans westward faster than the discovery of gold. In 1849, news of gold in California spread like wildfire. Tens of thousands of people, known as the 49ers, abandoned their homes and rushed west. They came not just from the US, but from all over the world. San Francisco exploded from a quiet outpost into a booming city. For a lucky few, the dream of instant riches came true. For most, it meant hard labor, disappointment, and empty pockets. But one thing was certain: the gold rush transformed the West forever. The US government fueled this movement with bold policies. The Homestead Act of 1862 offered 160 acres of free land to anyone willing to settle and farm it. For poor families and immigrants, this was the chance to start fresh. Thousands took the offer, building farms and towns that still exist today. Then came the iron rails. The Transcontinental Railroad, completed in 1869, stitched the nation together. What had once been a perilous, months-long journey by wagon could now be made in less than a week by train. Goods moved faster, towns grew quickly, and the West no longer felt distant. It was part of America's heartbeat, but we cannot tell this story without its shadow. Expansion came at a terrible cost for Native Americans. Tribes were forced from their homelands, treaties were broken, and entire nations were uprooted. The trail of tears and countless conflicts scarred the century. While settlers saw progress, Native communities faced devastation. This is the painful side of manifest destiny, one that history cannot ignore. By the late 19th century, the vision of manifest destiny had been fulfilled. America stretched from ocean to ocean, a continental power connected by rail, driven by ambition, and rich in resources. But the story of westward expansion is not just about maps or borders. It is about people, their courage, their greed, their dreams, and their struggles. It is the story of families who risked everything for the promise of a new life. And it is the story of Native nations who lost everything in the process. It is a history both inspiring and tragic, a reminder that progress always comes with consequences. Today, when we think about the West, the wide plains, the golden mountains, the endless skies, we see more than just landscapes. We see the legacy of manifest destiny, a legacy that built America, but also left wounds that still echo through history. The westward expansion wasn't just about land. It was about ambition, It was about survival.